So let me back up and place this whole thing in context. Okay. First of all, there's no doubt that Catholic priests have done atrocious things and have sexually abused people. There's also no doubt that some Catholic bishops have gone way out of the way to hide that fact from public view. All right, and those two things are the reasons why some Catholic dioceses in the world have been exposed to horrific legal judgments against them because there's evidence of collusion and cover-ups and so forth for gross malfeasance and immorality. Those are facts, okay? Now, let's put them in context. The odds of a child being abused in the Catholic Church, let me reframe that. The odds of a child being abused in the California public school system are, according to Carol Shakeshaft of Hofstra University, who's not a Catholic, I don't think, 100 times greater. 100 times greater than the odds of being abused in the Catholic Church.
Wow.
Okay, so the serial abuse of children, which is a horrible evil, is something that goes on in all kinds of institutions around the world and in families, and to a degree that dwarfs what has happened within the Catholicism. Now, I'm not trying to, in any way, shape, form, or fashion, excuse or mitigate the guilt of Catholic clergy that have been implicated in this, but I do want to put it in context, okay? And there's no doubt that the Catholic Church has gotten disproportionate media coverage because the Catholic Church as an institution stands for things like sexual purity and continence,
Yep.
all right, and takes countercultural positions so that, you know, she puts a great big target on her back, and when her teachers and representatives act hypocritically, it invites an extraordinary amount of ridicule and scandal that's probably well deserved.
Yeah.
And there are other social institutions that may be more politically protected, and so they invite less scrutiny. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's terrible. All right. Now the second thing is, has the church done anything about it? Well, absolutely they have. All right. And the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, in particular, instituted some protocols at meetings in Dallas a number of years ago that, to be honest with you, are I know some lawyers that regard those protocols as so extreme in favor of protecting children that they risk doing away with the standard of the presumption of innocence and reasonable doubt. Right. So in other words, it's almost as if even the hint of impropriety, and zip, you're taken out of ministry, zip, you're taken away from children, and so there have been priests who are innocent who have been kind of put through the ringer because of false allegations, because the protocols are so extreme. All right, so it's not true at all that the Catholic Church hasn't done anything. I work in diocesan administration in my own diocese of Birmingham, and in fact, I mean, we have a very vigorous program of child protection, and and I had to kind of get used to it. When I came to work in the diocese, there were occasions when I would have naturally, just because of human relationship, thought about, having a conversation with a kid or, doing something with young people, and I've had to learn to catch myself and go, oh, yeah, that violates a diocesan policy.
You, the father of five.
Yeah, me, the father of five. Oh, can't do that, because you can't be in a room alone and this kind of thing. And so, yeah, we got protocols like crazy, okay? And you can't catch everybody, because one of the things about abusers is that abusers will intentionally manipulate the system to gain access to children.
Yeah. All
right, and that includes people who will enter careers because they think they'll gain access, and that's just part and parcel of the mind of an abuser. But it's false to say that the church hasn't done anything. And now let's come around to the real philosophical question: was, let's say we come up with a bad priest, a bad bishop, and I'm not going to say anything about the Holy Father, but let's just say you have some high-ranking prelate who either is blind to something, or maybe he's complicit. All right, what do you do? What do you do if you're a Catholic, and how does that affect your view of the church and her authority and her morality and all the rest of it? Well, I'm a convert to the Catholic Church, and I came into the church in 2003, right in the thick of the cardinal law stuff that was going on in Boston.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell you that it didn't. I found myself nauseated. It had absolutely no impact at all on my decision to become Catholic. It didn't cross my mind for a second that it would have any bearing on the question of my becoming a Catholic, because look, St. Peter is the first pope, and he denied Christ more than once, and then denied the Gentiles in Antioch and had to get kind of slapped around by St. Paul. All right. And I know the history of the church, and I know that I've had popes and bishops and priests that were saintly, holy, wise, judicious people, and there have been some humdingers.
Oh yeah,
there have been some humdingers, and the thing about Catholicism is it's not a personality cult.
No.
Well, it is in this sense. The personality happens to be that of Christ. Yeah. And I'm here for the grace of God transmitted to me in the sacraments, and I have a priest in my diocese who says, the greatest proof of the divine origin of the church is the fact that the popes haven't been able to destroy it after 2,000 years. I mean, we're not obligated to believe that the church has good management. On the contrary.
Yeah. Church full of sinners, right?
Church full of sinners, yeah.